everybody. It's time for today's first guest. Now, he's written this new book. It's called The Adventures of Charlie Bubbles. Please welcome author and actor, Paul Carafotes. Welcome, Paul. Yeah, good.
Hey, come on, the band! Off the chain! Fantastic, off the hook, boys. Thank
Paul,
you so much for that. That was wonderful.
Welcome. We're happy to have you here. We know that you come from my dad's hometown of Somerville, Massachusetts. Right, everybody? How's that?
Yeah, I live on a street called Ossipee Road, which apparently in the old days, it was a horse and buggy, and how they named the street was there was a horse going up on the buggy, and the horse had to stop to relieve himself, and the little child said, "Dad, horsey pee." We didn't make that up. That wasn't just, that's a real true story. I tell my son, who's 5 now, that because he loves
We've got some great things to talk about, Paul, and that's things that have happened to you while you've been out in Hollywood. But first off, you wrote this book.
Yes.
It's called The Adventures of Charlie Bubbles. Now, let's tell people why you decided to write this. This is a kid's book. What inspired you?
I waited a long time to become a dad, and when my son was born 5 years ago, I spent a lot of time with him. I'm an actor, so I had a lot of time, and a writer, so I got to be home quite a bit with him. And he used to lie on my chest, and I blow these bubbles off my tongue, which I learned in Somerville at Western Junior High School. And yeah, and I blow these bubbles. And so, you know, because he's laying on my chest, I didn't want to disturb him, so I blow these bubbles. And that was the first time he got, you know, animated. And he would try to grab the bubbles and his eyes lit up. And I thought to myself, wow, I wonder what it'd be like for him if he went on a bubble, like if he got a big enough bubble and he went off on this adventure, this magical mystery ride or whatever. And that's the first idea I had. And then, of course, I was reading him many books. And I thought, like, I read so many children's books, and I thought a lot of them weren't very good. And I said, I could do this. And then, of course, it took me 5 years to do it. You know what I mean? I started to write it, and I would read to Charlie and tell him little stories, and then you know, send it to my mom, who, you know, would tell me that, oh, you can't spell, and you can't, you know, your punctuation is all wrong.
Now, you actually have had some success with the book, and now you're writing a second one, aren't you?
That's right, yes. This book,
How about that, everybody?
Yeah, if you had asked me, you know, 30 years ago when I got to Hollywood, that if, you know, do you see yourself writing children's books? I would have said, who are you talking to? What? No, I would never, you know, it's a strange phenomenon, but that's what children do. They bring, listen, I didn't know how to use a computer, really, until my son was born, because, you know, now this advent of computers, you had to, you know, I direct and write stuff. So in movie land, you have to sort of learn how to do these things on your own. But I refused, because I was the old school, the old way. No, meet people, shake hands, look them in the eye, kiss them.
Oh my goodness! Oh
yes. So, you know, that was the way I grew up, and I liked that. So it was difficult for me. But when my
dad would tell you that when you're Greek, you kiss on both cheeks, and because you didn't, well.
Well, really, in my house, we kissed on the lips.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Obviously,
we do that in my
relatives.
Listen, we do that in my we do that in my house too. But I only live with my wife, so it's acceptable. And a couple of dogs. Now listen, you are also working on new projects.
Zaboom? Zaboom! Thank you.
We gave up on the kabooms a long time ago. You're working on some new projects now. The one you're doing with Michael J. Fox. You're in a promo for his new show.
Well, yeah, I'm not on the show. I just happen to play a Greek. They were looking for. They cast about 6 or 7 of us to talk to him because Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's disease. So he shakes. Yeah. So they wanted people to talk about the shaking and see that he'd come back on national television and he'd shake. Would it bother people to see Michael J. Fox shaking? Because we have such a great image of him as Tom Boy or John Boy, whatever he played. I can't remember. And No, what was it? Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yeah.
No.
Oh.
What was the character's name?
Alex? Was it Alex Keaton?
There
How
you
about
go.
that?
Look at this.
Yeah, how about, hey.
It's a boom.
Yeah, the boom. No.
Zebula boom, baby.
Yeah, don't tell Babum to Tony, because it'll just be whatever he wants.
Take us out back and give us the boom. Boom!
Yeah. There you go. All right. So what happened?
So I went, and the audition was basically to tell if what do you think of Michael J. Fox? And I knew Michael, I know him. So my experience with Michael was drinking a lot of Canadian beer. And so I said when I met Michael, he drank so much Canadian beer that I went out and bought stock in the company. So I didn't think they were going to cast me, but they did. And then on the set, it was all improv. We were shooting in the back lot at Universal, and the director came out and he said, "Who can speak a different language?" And I said, "I can do, what do you want? Greek, French, Italian?" He said, "Give me Greek. Give me Greek." So I went out there and did this bit with Michael. I just said, he stops me to ask me a question, and I start talking to him in Greek. And he thinks I'm Italian. And I said, "No, Italiano, Greco. And he says, "Oh, you're Greek, they're broke." I said, "No, broke. Lift on, lift on." And I went, "Back to the Future."
Oh, that's awesome.
On the spot, Tony. I'm taking him with me.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead. You wrote, you directed, and produced your own short film called Club Soda. It starred James Gandolfini, Lou Gossett Jr.
Right, Joe Mantegna.
Yep.
And Michael Rispoli. And I found to play me because it's a story about when I first went off, when I left Somerville at 18 and moved to New York City to seek my fame and fortune, follow my dream, is what basically a show is about, isn't it? Following,
Well, we hope people follow their dreams, just not mine.
Well, dreams are nightmares are dreams too.
Yeah. Well, not really, but go ahead.
So I went off to New York to study acting, and there I did my first movie when I was 20. 18 months later, I got a starring role in a 20th Century Fox film called Hidden for Broadway. And from there, I went to Hollywood and blah, blah, blah. And I met these guys along the way, and I wrote and directed the short film, and James Gandolfini, of course, you all know as Tony Soprano from The Sopranos. He was shooting The Sopranos, and it was odd because when I cast it, I kept calling Jimmy saying, "We need you. We're going to start shooting March 31st, and I need you here." And he's, "I'm doing the show, and what's the part? What role am I playing, and what am I doing?" And finally he said, "I don't know if I can make it." And I said, "Listen, if you don't show up, I'm giving your role to Joe Mantegna." And actors are very competitive. So he said, "You're going to give, no. What's the day?" And he showed up a day early, which made me very nervous because he was hanging around for a day while we were shooting. And I go, "What am I going to do with this guy? Give him some food. Send him away." He breathes. He's a very heavy breather.
Yeah.
I spent a long time in sound. You're taking out, because he breathes very, Tony Soprano was like.
Well, they have this great new program, actually. It's called Isotope. John Lucasen taught me about it, and you can take different sounds. It's fantastic. Look into it. Listen,
Well,
Paul,
I took the sound out.
Yeah, I've got to ask you this because we're running out of time, and Armin's telling me we got to go. But you acted.
Where's him?
He's the Armenian hiding in the back.
The Armenian?
Yeah.
Well, we're simpatico with them,
you were in some great shows, especially when I was growing up. Some of these, like Knots Landing.
Yes.
Yeah, and how many times were you in Knots Landing?
I was on that show for 2.5 years. I did 50 episodes.
And you were also in my grandmother's favorite show, Murder, She Wrote. But she never called it Murder, She Wrote. In her broke Greek accent, she would say, "Mrs. Fletcher." She always wanted to watch Mrs. Fletcher.
With a broken Greek English accent.
Yeah, well, the only English word she said to me was Mrs. Fletcher. You also
say, "He's not home," and hang up the phone on whoever called.
One of my favorite shows.
"He's not home." All the girls would call my house. Yeah. "Where's Paul?" "He's not home."
Yeah.
Hang up on me.
That sounds like my friend Jojo.
Unless they were Greek. If they were Greek, my grandma would say, "Who's your father?"
No, that's like my friend Jojo. He's Chinese. His mother only said, "Jojo, no home." That's all she said to me for the last 37 years. She still says it to me.
We got to fix that.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want me talking to her. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, you also, Greatest American Hero. One of my favorite shows.
These are all my early days in Hollywood. Yes. I have done some other work since then.
But you were in like 4 episodes, right?
I replaced Michael Keaton.
Michael, the high school kid.
Yeah, yes. I replaced him, and the show went down.
Well, but at least you were in 4 episodes of an American classic.
Right. That's when I was dating the Solid Gold dancer. Remember her?
No,
Debbie Jensen?
What's her name?
Solid Gold. Deborah Jensen.
Now, that's funny because that's...
Filippini was her real name, but she changed it. I didn't change Carafotes. My father said, change it to Paul Cara-Heineman. I said, did James Cagney, James Cara, what? No, I'm not keeping Carafotes. You see it up there? It takes up the whole...
I like Greatest American Hero, but
I know you do.
Solid Gold was my wife's favorite show growing up. So
Really?
Yeah. You dated one of the dancers. That's
I did,
amazing.
yes. I had a...
Which one was she?
Deborah Jensen.
Okay.
She came,
we'll have to Google that
to
when we get home.
Somerville. She came to visit one Christmas, and she left. My mother was crying with the iron, going, he's going to ruin you.
She's no Greek. She's no Greek.
She's Sicilian, which,
Oh, well.
My father was going, come on. What's the matter with you?
Paul, you also are doing...
I can say other things, but, this...
It's a kid's show. Come on.
It's a kid's show. Plus, you got the...
Stop looking to Tony for help, please. The reason why we put him behind you is we don't want to hear him. No, listen. I'm just kidding, Tony. You're wonderful. You also did...
I got you, Tony. Don't worry.
You also did these radio interviews where you grabbed celebrities and you interviewed them, such as Davy Jones.
I did his last interview.
His last interview. What did he talk about?
He talked about how he only got $400 a week on the Monkees.
Oh.
Yes, he was very upset about that they didn't make the money they should have made.
That's about $400 more than what we get working here on the studio.
Yeah, but that was in 1965 or something, right? So $400 in 1965. I said that's a lot of money in 1965.
Yeah. Paul, let's tell people if they want to find the children's book, especially our fans overseas. Where do they go online to find it? What's your website?
CharlieBubblesBook.com. That's where you can find the book. It's also at some other company. You could probably figure it out and search around and find that. But CharlieBubblesBook.com, because if you order it there, we'll autograph the book for you. You can leave a little note in there and see who you want the book signed to, and we'll do that, and we'll send it out to you.
If you can get the autographs from that Solid Gold dancer.
I can get that. She's singing in Los Angeles on Friday nights. She's very cute still.
Not a laugh from anyone.
Your wife's here,
you would think they weren't related to me.
I think something happened to them. They were laughing.
We've stumped them.
Did you feed them in between, like the first
forgot.
and second bit?
Simon, go get some cookies. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad he came here tonight. Paul Carafotes. Thank you, Paul. All right, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be right back right after this.